Hi everybody, my name is Matthew, and I am so excited to be analyzing this piece of media with you all, especially because Little Shop of Horrors is one of my favorite movies, and so I was really excited to open this assignment and see that we were doing this. I kind of wrote some notes down here just so I can kind of hit on a couple points that I wanted to talk about in relation to the text and what the assignment is kind of asking for. First thing that I noticed when watching this video was kind of how when Audrey's singing, there's definitely comedic value here to kind of get the audience to engage with it. There's more serious undertones in the way that it's kind of reinforcing these societal norms of like what a good life looks like, or what happiness kind of looks like, and that's being in a relationship, that's having the house, that's having the appliances, that's kind of living the American dream. It's kind of reinforcing those norms and helping shape the way people understand certain values like success or safety, gender roles, and the American dream kind of as we know it. And so that was kind of the first thing that I noticed. So I wanted to mention and touch on that first. So in the song, Audrey's kind of imagining escaping Skid Row and living in a quiet suburban home. Her dream is not about becoming rich or famous. It's really attainable. And that's another thing too. It's not like unrelatable at all. So I feel like through the humor and through the comedic value, we're kind of also relating to her because we're like, I want those things too. And her dream isn't about becoming rich. It's relatable. It's about having a house, appliances, a husband, and kind of like a peaceful life, which is kind of what anyone would want. And I feel like society can kind of relate with this piece of media widely. She's like, I want to be loved. I want to be safe. I want a home. And I think that's huge too. And that's a whole other aspect of this in terms of being relatable to a whole group of people. According to Harold Laswell's 1927 hypodermic needle theory, early media studies looked at how media messages could directly influence audiences. And I don't think that this piece of media specifically is like forcing audiences to think a specific way or pushing ideologies or anything like that. But I do think it shows how media can kind of repeat and normalize certain ideas about what a good life looks like, or what it's supposed to be, or what it's supposed to look like, if that makes sense. And so I kind of felt like the hypodermic needle theory kind of fit in this sense, even though it's been disproved, and it's kind of not like a well supported theory. I did feel like I wanted to mention that because I do think that this piece of media is kind of influencing and shaping how society is kind of viewing what a good life looks like, viewing it through this kind of lens. And especially in this assignment, when we get the opportunity to kind of read the text, and then how can I apply this text and what I've learned about media and pop culture, and how can I apply it to this piece of media and look at it through that lens and kind of become this kind of like inquisitive person. I just think that it's beautiful and awesome and super fun, and it's one of the reasons I'm really excited to be taking this class with you guys. Moving on. I think this also connects to the course material about housewives and consumer culture. And so, according to Herta Herzog's research from 1941 and 1944, audiences often use media to meet emotional needs. Audrey's song works in a similar way because it creates a fantasy of a better life. She imagines this kind of life, this suburban life, as a symbol that she's kind of like finally escaped the struggle, and she's kind of like pining for that. And so the song is not just about wanting material things, it's really about wanting peace, it's really about wanting love, it's really about wanting stability. Another concept that really applies here is the gratifications theory. According to Laswell's 1948 work, audiences use media for different purposes, including entertainment, information, and cultural transmission. And so this means audiences are not just passive. They connect media based on their own needs and kind of like experiences. I think this matters because some people might see it as funny or sweet, while others might see it or critique on how society teaches people, or especially women, what is considered to be kind of this idea of happiness with marriage and this domestic life and consumer comfort. I also think this piece of media connects to media convergence. So, according to Henry Jenkins' 2006 convergence theory, media convergence describes how media changes as it moves across different platforms and as audiences interact with it in different ways. So, this whole idea of like it started as a play, now it's a movie, now it's used in this assignment to really look at it through the lenses of what we read in the text is a great and perfect example of media convergence because it moves across different platforms, and it's the way the audience is interacting with it is completely different. Like someone who is watching this for the first time, in the 80s when it came out, versus me, who is consuming this piece of media through my popular communications class, and asked to view it through the lenses of, what we were learning, in the text. So, Somewhere That's Green shows how popular culture and society reflect each other at the same time, right? So, we're taking society's norms, about success, about gender roles, about being in a relationship, kind of about that American dream, and the media turns those ideas into songs, characters, humor. It's telling stories, but the media also sends those ideas back to the audience, and it helps shape what people imagine happiness should look like, right? So societal norms are influencing, the media, and the media is taking the societal norms and creating, and it's using humor, and it's like taking music and it's creating and molding this media, and it's putting it back up, and then we're kind of reconsuming it, and kind of deciding what we want to do with it. I think that really highlights, how popular culture and society reflect each other at the same time. Audrey's Dream may seem simple, but that's what makes the song really meaningful and what makes this piece of media really special. It shows how pop culture can entertain us while also revealing deeper social values like class, gender roles, safety, happiness, and what people are taught to want. And so I thought this was really interesting.